In this video, we'll make a simple game that's just a number checker. And part of the reason for that is it will allow us to see how we can use Scratch and make some decisions based on what we're given. We'll look at some inequalities here. So we'll start with the control when the green flag is clicked. Sorry, the events when the green flag is clicked. Zoom in a little bit, make that a bit bigger. There we go. We'll start by setting the secret number. So we'll have a variable called secret number. Let's go to variables, make a variable. We can call it whatever we like. I'll call it secret number so we remember what it is. And we will grab that set my variable block, choose secret number. And the nice thing about Scratch and most other programming languages is they allow for the use of random numbers. So I'm going to click on operators here, and you can see the fifth one down is pick a random number from 1 to 10. I can make those any numbers that we want, but we'll make our number checking game go from 1 to 10. All right, we're going to need a repeat block here, and the reason for that is that we're going to repeat this sort of asking for a number over and over again until the user gets the right answer. So I'm going to go down to control here. I'm going to choose the repeat until block. So not the repeat 10. If we go down a little bit further, at the bottom of that screen, we can see there's a repeat until, and we want to repeat until a certain condition is met. And before we get to that certain condition, we'll come back. That condition will go in the hexagon here. Before we get to that, let's go ahead here and we'll ask the user for a number. So let's go here and ask, guess a number, or guess my number, we'll say. And we'll just say between 1 and 10, inclusive. So we're going to create a variable called guess. So under variables, make a variable, we'll call it guess. And we will set guess equal to the answer of this question. So back to sensing, grab that answer. And what we want to do is we want to check to see if we got the right answer. So we'll use a conditional statement, so an if statement. So let me just see if I can find one of those that's under control. And instead of just using the plain if statement, I'm going to use the if then else statement. So the if statement will check to see if one condition is true. The if then else statement will check to see if the condition is true. If it is, it will kind of do whatever's in this part. Otherwise, it will do what's in this part right here. And when the if statement is finished, it jumps right outside of that and keeps going. So we want to start by saying if we guess the secret number, if guess and secret number are the same, then we can output a message that says you got the right answer. So let's do this condition here in the if statement. And in order to do that, we're going to click on the operators. And we want to grab the equals block right here. Stick it right in here. And we want to check to see if the guess is equal to the secret number. So we'll go to the variables, grab a guess block, and grab a secret number block. So if the guess is equal to the secret number, then we'll display a message that says good job. So under looks, we can go to the say, we can write great job. You guessed my number. And I said a while ago we would repeat everything inside this repeat statement until a certain condition is met. Well, that condition is actually the same as this one. So we're going to keep asking for more guesses until the guess and the secret number are the same. So once this condition is met, the program will no longer repeat this stuff in the block, and it will go to anything that might be afterwards, if there happens to be anything at the end. Our program is just going to end, and we'll go from there. All right, so now let's get to the hard part of deciding if the number was too high or if the number was too low. So we've already determined that if the guess and the secret number are equal, we'll do this part. Otherwise, we're going to jump down here, and we'll go to control. We need another if statement. So again, I'll grab one of these if then else statements and stick it here. So this is called nested if statements, an if statement inside an if statement. So remember, we've already determined that if we enter this block of code down in here, that the guess is not equal to the secret number. So let's check one of the other conditions. So under operators, we'll grab the greater than sign. We can grab our variable. You can actually do that by just right-clicking on the variable and choosing duplicate. And we can do it that way. It's a little bit of a shortcut. So if guess is greater than the secret number, so the user guessed too high, let's output a message that says something along those lines. So under looks, say hello for 2 seconds. We'll change that hello to too high. So remember, we came into this first if statement. We know that guess and secret number aren't equal. If the guess is greater than the secret number, we do this part. Otherwise, the number must be too low. That's the only option that's left. So I'm just going to duplicate this, and we'll just change this too high to too low. And let's run it here. And just a reminder, we can see the variables here. It's not a very fun game if you can see what the answer is ahead of time, but it's a great way to debug. So let's keep the variables there, and then we can hide them afterwards. So right now, guess my number between 1 and 10. I'm going to say 5. Obviously, I was wrong. Secret number was 8. It's funny. I'm going to stop this and run it again because there we go. Secret number is 4, and I'm going to guess a number. So let me guess a number that's too high. So 5 tells me it's too high. I'm going to guess a number that's too low. 2 tells me it's too low. And then I'll actually guess the correct answer of 4. I guessed correctly. Now, one of the things that we'll need to be careful of here is that right now the variables are set, in this case, both of them to 4. If I were to run this program again, you'll see that the secret number changed, but the guess didn't. So if this program randomly happened to choose 4 again as the right number, it probably would not go into this repeat because this statement here, the guess and the equal secret number, so it wouldn't go into that repeat statement. So what we'll do is to fix that is at the very beginning of our program, under variables, we'll just set guess equal to a number that it can't be. So every time our program runs, we'll set guess equal to 0. So that way, if the random number and our guess, our random number and our guess cannot be the same. And so I think that will fix that up. So that's how we can look at this program, how we can create sort of a random number guesser, how we can use some selection, these if statements, and how we can kind of look at some inequalities.